Hello, and Nyob everyone. I hope you guys are all doing well during this time. But in today's video, I'll be showing you guys how to make steam layer cake. A lot of people requested me to show them how to make this, and I gotta be honest, it's not one of my favorite cakes to make because it is really time consuming. And I don't know, I just don't really enjoy making this cake for some reason. But I'm making it for all of you guys that wanted to learn. So I'll show you guys how to make it today. Today I'm gonna be making the Pandan and Mung bean flavor layer cake. I'm gonna be making 9 layers today. So hopefully you guys give this a try and let me know if this recipe works out for you and if you enjoy making this dessert. So yeah, it's a very tedious dessert, but I'm also excited to show you guys because this recipe actually came out really nice. I've been testing it for like 3 days, and yeah, it's just been really a very technical dessert, but I learned a lot doing this dessert. So hopefully this recipe works out for you guys. So let's go ahead and make the steam 9-layer mung bean and pandan cake. So let's go. Okay, so we are going to make the pandan layer first. So I'm going to start with the wet ingredients before we do it the dry. So here I have my big measuring cup here. I have about 2.5 cups or 600 milliliters of coconut milk. I'm going to add in about a cup of sugar. So I have a cup of sugar. Add it into the coconut milk. And then I'm also going to add in some salt. I have about half a teaspoon of salt. And what I'm going to do now is take this and put this in the microwave for about like 2 minutes just to melt the sugar. If you guys don't have a big measuring cup or that's microwavable, you guys can definitely just heat it over a stovetop in a pan or a pot. You don't have to heat it all the way towards boiling. If you're doing it in a pot, you can just heat it for like 1 or 2 minutes just to melt the sugar. But I'm going to do this in a microwave because I find it just easier that way, especially since I have a microwave bowl measuring cup here. So I'm going to go ahead and microwave this for 2 minutes and come back. Okay, so 2 minutes in the microwave. It's nice and warm. I'm just going to stir this to melt. Usually you'll know when it's melted and when you don't feel any grittiness on the bottom. Alright, so the sugar and the salt is nicely dissolved. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add in about a cup of pandan water. And the pandan water here is, I just took about a cup of water into a blender with about 2 cut up pandan leaves, and then blended it up, put it through a mesh strainer over a measuring cup. Squeeze out any excess water, and then this is what I get. So I'm going to go ahead and add that into the coconut sugar here. Okay, I'm going to pour this in. And into this, I'm going to go ahead and add in some more pandan flavoring. The reason why I'm doing pandan water plus pandan extract flavoring is because I like the flavor of the pandan leaf, but I want more pandan flavor and pandan color, the green color in there. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon, maybe a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, depending on how green you want this. So I'm going to add in just for a little bit more color. Stir this up. Okay, and this is pretty much it for the liquid base. So I'm going to go ahead and set this aside and we can start on the dry ingredients. So these are our dry ingredients. I have a bowl here with about 1.5 cups of tapioca starch, and then I'm going to add in some rice flour as well. This is about 1/4 cup of rice flour. I'm going to add that into the tapioca. And then I also am going to be using some arrowroot flour. And arrowroot flour, why I'm using this in this recipe is because it gives it a really nice chew and elasticity to this dessert. It also allows it to peel very nicely. So if you guys want to use arrowroot flour, I recommend it for this recipe. I bought the arrowroot flour in my local grocery store. Usually if you guys can, they might be in the specialty area, but if you guys can't find it, definitely check online. They definitely have arrowroot flour online. It's super easy to find. Go ahead and add that in there. Okay, we can go ahead and mix this really well. At this point, we can go ahead and add in our wet ingredients that we mixed in earlier. Okay, now go ahead and mix this really well to release any clumps. Okay, so it's nice and mixed. At this point, if you notice that it's not green enough for you, you can definitely add more pandan extract or flavoring in there, which I'm going to do. But I'm just gonna add a little bit to make it a little bit more greener. Alright, so this is good. So at this point, the batter is ready. You guys can put this through a sieve to make sure there's no lumps in there, but since it's just starches and no gluten in here, we're completely fine. I'm not going to strain this. If you guys want to, definitely go ahead and do it. But the pandan batter is pretty much done. I'm going to set this aside, and then we can go ahead and start making the mung bean flavor batter one. So set this aside. Okay, so for the mung bean batter, the first thing you want to do is cook your mung bean. So I finished cooking it and pureed it, and it's nice and smooth like this. So what I did was I took some soaked mung bean that I soaked overnight, put it in a pot, added about a cup of water, cooked it on very medium-low heat, like a slight simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes, just until I get this consistency. And then I put it into a blender and blended it in until it got really smooth. And then this is what I got. So right here I have about a cup of the mung bean puree with a little bit of water. But yes, this is how I got the mung bean. I'm going to set this aside, and the same thing what we're going to do is heat up the sugar and the coconut milk and the salt. So I have about 2.5 cups of coconut milk. Go ahead and add in the sugar, salt, bubbles, and then the same thing, I'm gonna microwave this about 2 minutes to 2.5 minutes. I'm gonna do 2 minutes. Okay, same thing. After 2 minutes of heating this up, again, you guys can heat this over your pot. I just did it in a microwave because it's just easier for me since I have a measuring cup here. Okay, that's nice and mixed. To this, I'm going to go ahead and add in the mung bean puree that we made, and it is a little bit thick. Just fine. Finish scraping all that in there. And then we are going to mix this till it's nice and mixed. Okay, so to this, since it's not so yellow, I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit of food coloring just to make it brighter. Totally optional. If you guys don't want to, you don't have to, but I'm going to do it because it looks nicer. So just a little bit of food coloring in there just to brighten it up. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so the mung bean liquid base is done. We'll set this aside and we'll do the dry ingredients. So in the bowl here, same amount as the pandan flavor one, I have about 1.5 cups of tapioca starch. I'm going to go ahead and add in 1/4 cup of rice flour. And then we have arrowroot flour. Mix this up, and then go ahead and add in your liquid base that you did earlier. Same thing, just stir this well enough to break up the clumps, and then we can go ahead and start steaming. It's quite easy actually. So this is nice and mixed, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and strain it over the strainer, just because the mung bean tends to clump up the starch. So I'm going to go ahead and strain that just so it's nice and smooth. Okay, and the mung bean batter is nice and done. We can go ahead and start steaming these. So here are the batters. They are nice and mixed and they are done. Each of these batter contains about 5 cups. So the pandan has 5 cups and the mung bean has about 5 cups. So at this point, it really depends on the size of the pan that you want to use and how many layers you want to layer the cake. So I'm going to do about 9 layers, and I'm going to be using a 9" by 3 round pan here. So this is a 9" round pan, and it's a 3" height up here. So this one works perfectly for the batter that I made. This will make about 9 layers in here. Again, depending on what kind of pan you guys end up using, you can also do a 9 by 9 square pan. Just make sure that it's high enough to actually fit the batter. It should be about 3 to 4 inches high, enough to fit. This has about a tablespoon of oil that I kind of brush inside and on the bottom and on the sides. Let's go ahead and stick this in the steamer because we want this to be nice and warm before we add in the first layer. So let's go ahead and stick this in the steamer. So since I'm a visual learner, I ended up drawing myself a diagram so that I don't get confused which layer goes after which and how many cups go in each layer. So I drew myself a diagram to know and organize myself with the layers. If this helps you out, I'll put this in my website for you guys to look at. But yes, I drew myself so that each layer is nice and even, depending on which pan you use. Again, you guys will have to do your own math depending on how many layers you end up wanting and how thick of a layer you want it and which pan you want to use. So if you guys end up using 89-inch round or square pan, this ratio might work out for you. But if you end up using a bigger pan or a smaller pan and wanted to make a thicker layer, you'll probably have to do the math and figure the layers and the amount yourself. But yes, with this recipe and with this cake pan that I'm using, this helps me a lot. So hopefully this helps you guys too, and for this dessert to not be so confusing for all of you. Okay, so I'm outside here with my big steamer. If you guys don't have a big steamer, any steamer that will fit your pan works just as fine. But I put my pan in the steamer for about a good 5 minutes to heat up, and I want it nice and hot for the first layer to actually set in there. But yes, I did draw that diagram for anyone that needs to reference that. Definitely use that as a guide. First layer I'm going to do is, again, I want the top and bottom layer to be green. So I'm going to put about a cup of the pandan layer into the bottom. And again, anytime you're putting the layers in, make sure you stir the batter so that the starches on the bottom is mixed well with the whole batter, because the starches tends to like to settle on the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in 1 cup of the green batter. Sorry, I'm using my half a cup and measuring cup if you guys get confused. This is half a cup, so I'm doing 2 of these to make it a full cup. Okay, so a full cup of the pandan layer. Go ahead and close your steamer, and we're gonna steam this for about 5 minutes. Okay, it's been I put it for 8 minutes of steaming. You guys can tell it's become a little bit more translucent. It's not as white or pale white. It's become somewhat clear. So at this point, we can go ahead and start layering with the rest. We'll do a cup and a fourth of the mung bean layers. So as always, make sure you mix your batter before you add in the layers. And again, I'm using my half a cup of measuring cup here. Since I can't find my cup, I can't find my full cup measuring cup somehow, so I'm using my half a cup of measuring cup. So don't get it confused. I'm just, you know. So yeah, a cup and a fourth of the mung bean layer, and then close this back up and let it steam for a good 8 minutes or so again. Okay, so the yellow mung bean one is nice and cooked. Sometimes, 8 minutes might not be enough. You guys can definitely cook it for another 2 to 3 more minutes just until it's nice and firm, depending on what steamer you guys have. So it might not be exactly 8 minutes of cooking time. You guys can cook it more just until it's nice and cooked and firm. So yeah, we're gonna continue doing each layers until all the batter is used up, and then we'll be pretty much done. So again, it might be more than 8 minutes for each layer as you go. So just keep an eye on it as you keep cooking it. Might be like 10-12 more minutes of cooking it as you pour in more layers, just because it's so dense as you go. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close this up, and then I'll continue steaming each layer, and then once we get to the end of the layer, I'll show you guys what to do. Woohoo! We are on our last layer. So last layer is gonna be the pandan layer. I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of it in there. The last 1 cup in there. The more layers you add in there, the longer the steaming process. So as the more you put in there, you might take about 15 minutes per layer now instead of 5 minutes. So just an FYI, if you guys were curious that each layer should be 5 minutes, no, that's not really technically true. You'll have to check once in a while to see how well each of them are cooking along the way as you go, because it's getting thicker. Also to note, make sure you check your water to make sure that you have enough water for steaming, because you don't want to burn your pan. So because the water does evaporate as you go, because it takes a while for this to cook. So make sure you check your water as you keep cooking this. So this is our last layer. We are going to go ahead and close it and cook it for 20 minutes. This is our last steaming, so we're gonna cook it for 20 minutes and then we'll come back and check on it. Woo! Okay, the cake is finally ready. Usually if you want, you can touch the middle, make sure it's nice and firm. Sometimes most of the moisture, like the steam, will come and center this cake, which is completely fine. Sometimes you can't really tell because a lot of the oil floats to the top too, and then most of the moisture from the steam also sits on the top here. But if you feel that's firm, that means it's nice and cooked. It took me about an hour and a half to cook this whole cake. So now since we finished steaming it, we have to let it cool for a good 5 to 6 hours before we can actually cut and eat it. I know, it's very tedious, time-consuming dessert. But yes, we have to cool it before we can actually eat it. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off the steamer and then we'll cool it down. So we'll see this dessert in about 6 hours. Okay, let's do this. All right, so it's been about a good 6 hours of chilling this, and it's nice and nice and cold and also firm, so it'll be easier to cut. So if you guys can look here, I'm gonna go ahead and release it from the pan. If you guys use a silicone pan, that works just as great. But if you look from the sides, I can actually slowly just peel it off from the sides when it's cool, which is pretty nice. Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and flip this onto my cutting board carefully, and I'm just gonna shake it and make sure it's, you know, out of the pan. So I'm gonna flip this over, hit it a few times. Shake, 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 shake. I can feel it coming out. You can hear it too. Yeah, it's coming out. Woo! That's nice. Nice. Okay, so this is flipped nicely. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and cut it. So at this point, you guys can cut it whatever shape and size you guys want. People do it in cubes, they do it in rectangles, diamonds. It's really up to you. I'm thinking of cutting it into cubes, and then we can just serve it up. You guys, it's pretty much up to you. But the trick to slicing this nice and easily without it being so sticky is my mom says to wrap your knife in plastic wrap. So here's my knife here. I have my chef's knife here, and what I did was wrap this with some plastic wrap, about like 2 layers, and we're gonna use this to cut it. I know, sounds weird, but it actually works. It's pretty amazing. So what I'm gonna do is I'll cut this in half. Just gonna press down like that, just to use your strength. See, it doesn't even stick. It's pretty cool. And then I'll move this side and finish cutting the rest. But I wanted to show you guys the center of this. Look at this, it's so beautiful. Perfectly nice layers. You guys can look the texture of it. It's nice and bouncy. It's jiggly, but it's not so sticky. It has a nice elasticity to it, so it's pretty cool. Whoa! Okay, so I'm gonna cut one half into cubes and the other ones into like rectangles. So I'm gonna cut this and another half here. And then this one here. Okay, I'm gonna separate this. And cut this into rectangles. Yeah, so you guys can continue cutting this however shape or size you guys like, and then serve it. This keeps in room temperature nice and soft for 2 days. In the fridge, it'll stay nice and soft for a day, and then after that, you can nuke it in the microwave for about like I don't know, 10 or 15 seconds just to soften it, and you can eat it. You can also put this back in the steamer just to warm it up to get it soft again and then still eat it. But other than that, you can make this dessert a day before and serve it the next day. Just make sure you keep it in the refrigerator to cool it down. But yes, I wanted to show you the texture if you guys were curious what the texture is like. So here's this. I'm gonna peel it for you, and it actually peels pretty nicely. Like that. Whoa! So each layer here you can eat. Chico, chico, chico.